Last 5 seconds. Ready? Start. Mr. President, sir, I rise to endorse the sentiments expressed by Sardar Bhupinder Singh Maan. I am opposed to the idea of dragging God in the third schedule. I am opposed to this because even those persons who swear by the name of God do not do everything in this world in the name of God. Where is the necessity of asking a man, however religious he may be, that he must do this and start doing that thing in the name of God? Then my third amendment relates to the words affection or ill will occurring at the end of the form. It says that a minister of the union is required to do his duty in accordance with the constitution and law without fear or favor. That is quite good. The words without fear or favor are very appropriate, as a minister must discharge his duties to the people without fear or favor. But is he to discharge his duty without affection to people? Should he be not imbued with a sense of love and affection to people? Yet the affirmation says that a minister must act without affection or ill will to the people. Without affection is absolutely mischievous. He must have some amount of love and affection for the people, but we find that ministers today are getting away from the people. The love for the people which should characterize them is forsaking them. They are following a path of disaffection for the people. We find in the provinces and in the center there is a affection towards the people. If the ministers take the oath that I will deal with you without affection, the people will reciprocate also. We will also deal with you without any affection, so there will be mutual disaffection and ill will. I submit that my first amendment with regard to the requirement of sincerity and with the requirement of affection should be accepted. But if the differential phraseology was not deliberately selected to give effect to obvious implications, I think in the first place the words and sincerely should be interested, and in the second place the words without affection should be deleted. Mr. President, these are the amendments relating to all the forms. There are certain amendments which relate to particular forms. I may take them up later. Dr. Ambedkar, there are some amendments in your name in the printed list relating to other forms. Does any member wish to move any other amendment regarding other forms? I have noted there are two amendments, 123 and 128, which are of a different nature. I think we shall confine our speeches to the present form. In that case, there will be no more amendments. I do not wish to move 123 and 128 at this stage. In proposing this amendment, I have not the slightest desire to offend the sentiments of some of the members who have spoken against the draft on the ground that God has not been placed below the line. Sir, in this matter, I must admit that we have really no consistent policy which we have followed. For instance, in Article 49, which has been passed, God has been, I think, placed above the line and affirmation below the line. In Article 81, we have placed affirmation first and the oath afterwards. In this article to which we have moved amendments, we have merely followed the wording of the principal clause, which runs affirm or swear. That being the language of the principal clause, the logical sequence was that the affirmation was placed above the line and the oath was placed below. It is a purely logical thing. Now the reason why we have thought it desirable to place affirmation first and oath afterwards was because in this country, at any rate, the Hindu, when he is called upon in any court of law to evidence, begins by an affirmation. It is only Christians, Anglo-Indians and Muslims who swear. The Hindus do not like to utter the name of God. I therefore thought that in a matter of this sort, we ought to respect the sentiments and practice of the majority community, and consequently we have introduced this particular method by stating the position as to affirmation and oath. As I said, I have neither one view nor the other. I am perfectly prepared to carry out the wishes of the House if the House is of the opinion that Mr. Kamath's amendment should be accepted, and I submit that that would be contrary to the practice prevalent in this country so far as the Hindus are concerned, then what I would suggest is that my amendments would be allowed at this stage, with the liberty that the drafting committee will take into consideration all the other articles which have been incorporated in the constitution. So far as the to bring the whole matter in line, it will not be proper to make a change here and to leave the other articles as they stand. Sir, I find a storm has been raised unnecessarily about the form which has been suggested by Dr. Ambedkar. In fact, this one has been brought in place of two forms. Two alternative forms have been put into one form. Some people swear in the name of God and others solemnly affirm. Instead of having two different forms, it is put in one form. If originally, instead of underlining, there was a stroke between swear in the name of God and solemnly affirm, that will also serve the purpose. There is no meaning in suggesting that because in the amendment or the form proposed by Dr. Ambedkar solemnly affirm has been put above the line and the word swear in the name of God underneath. There is a suggestion that one is more important than the other. Alternative forms had to be used by those who either belong to Christian religion who swear, and the Hindus and the other solemnly affirm. Therefore, there is no reason why there should be any formal amendments. In fact, the form suggested by Dr. Ambedkar and the form suggested by Mr. Kamath are one and the same. Whichever is accepted, it will make no difference. Now, I am sorry that Dr. Ambedkar has come forward just with a little trick, the trick of a school boy. If he will pardon me, what he has done is he has brought on the words solemnly affirm above the line and brought God under the line. If it is to be only a trick, I would not mind it, but we should see that the people do not get the idea that now after Swaraj God has gone under. So I say, since the Constituent Assembly has once decided in connection with the oath, these words swear in the name of God should be above the line and the other words must be below the line, and naturally too. I say naturally because even in spite of the presence of some agnostics in India, there are still the vast majority of the masses who believe in God. And while we are making a constitution here, the masses have not given us a blank check for us to do as we choose. We have to make the constitution to the liking of the masses whose representatives we are. I submit, sir, that Dr. Ambedkar, honest as he always is sometimes too clever. I would say he has been quite honest and outspoken, so I would request him not to do anything which is against the wishes of the masses whom he represents. Why bring in a little personal prejudice of his and make God go under the line? What is the significance of putting God under the line? What is God? Sir, God is truth. So an oath taken in the name of God means that it is an oath in the name of truth. I desire expediency to go under the line and truth to go up. I am afraid some of the honorable members may not attach much importance to this question, and I really also submit that it is not a matter of great importance. But Dr. Ambedkar seems to be playing pranks with us. Why does Dr. Ambedkar come out with an amendment when on a previous occasion the House had already given its decision on this question through his amendment? Dr. Ambedkar wants the whole House to commit itself to putting God under the line. But let us not forget that India gave the idea of God to the whole world. I have heard leaders of his house say that we must own the international numerals as against the Hindi numerals because the former were given to the world by India. Similarly, I submit that when the world has rotting in chaos, gave we gave it the idea and conception of truth and God. India gave it to the world. Why then should God go down, particularly when he has made us free? God primarily belongs to India. This is the land of God, so God should be above and affirmation below. Let us stick to the original draft. So I hope the House will not accept Dr. Ambedkar's amendment. There is no question of party discipline. Let not the members be afraid of any whips. After completing the inquiry, a final report along with the papers of the inquiry is required to be sent to the Director General ACB. Even while submitting the final report and the papers of the inquiry, which are the points to be considered? Stop.